Yeah, I did. I just wanted to respond to the mobile discussion. This week was a particularly good one for both threads, I thought. But it seems like the mobile question is one that kind of draws out some pretty particular comments about that particular area. And the question lent itself to the idea of what's the good, what's the bad, what are the advantages and challenges of using mobile. And I think I just wanted to kind of respond to that in that kind of format because it seemed like there's some pairings that kind of work off one another. There's two sides of the same coin in terms of what's an advantage and what's a disadvantage. One of the things that I noticed that came out was the whole idea of motivation versus distraction. Right, it's a motivating thing, and certainly what was mentioned was with kids, right? It's mobile, it's a very motivating thing. I know that my children certainly, if they have their choices between writing something down or and looking up something in a book, or else use a mobile device, a phone, or a pad of some kind, or the iPad, or a tablet of some kind. They seem to want to do that. They seem to want to prefer the latter. So it's motivating in that, but at the same time, it's distracting sometimes because, as we all know, even with us as adult learners, even us as functioning as adults in education or whatever we're doing, it can be distracting. I mean, the Facebook alert comes up, and all of a sudden we're off what we're doing. So there's got to be a way that we can kind of balance that. And the question I ask, especially when I was thinking about children, and middle schoolers and potentially high schoolers when they're using a mobile device as a part of their curriculum and so forth. Sure, there's a possibility if they're using their device and they're getting distracted. But how does it weigh in the end? In other words, are they getting less because of the mobile device? Or in the balance of it, are they getting more when you factor in the distraction piece, if that makes any sense, right? Are they acquiring more even in light of the distraction? Just something to kind of to bear in mind. I'm not sure on that one, but it's a curious question, right? The other one was the second one of three here is the accessibility versus stability, right? Accessibility is great with a mobile device. You can do it anywhere, and of course, some amazing things can be done when you're multitasking with a mobile device, right? I mean, I've heard 100 times of watching my introductory video while they're standing in the Starbucks line. I don't know if that's flattering or not, but I mean, it's an opportunity to multitask. You can be there, you can be grocery shopping. I think he was even mentioned of a spa visit while using a mobile device and you're doing, executing mobile learn type of thing. Certainly that can happen. On the same side, right? Though the stability is a question, right? We can't really do some of the long-term research types of things on a mobile device. At least I haven't been able to do that. I can't write a draft of a lecture or something like that on a mobile device. I can only operate them with my thumbs, really. But you can do small little tasks, right? Those in-between tasks that are very useful for a mobile device. The point came up, and this is something we're going to be talking about in this current week about the LMS, right? Does the mobile app, does all of that replace the stability of the of a web categorized learning management system, which is a robust big website? A few years ago, the director that was in charge of our group was saying it's going to be about apps. That's what we're going to do. The online courses aren't going to be encapsulated in LMS. It's going to be a mobile course where you have 11 modules that are represented by 11 apps, right, within a course, and things like that. We'll talk about that obviously in the LMS questions this week, but that's another one. Finally, it's the usability. Versus the constraints that it can bring, and I think that kind of goes along with usability. Is it the best way to do these things mobily when you can do it better potentially at a desktop? And when I'm thinking usability, I'm thinking, okay, well, the size of the screen is small, right? It's and even on the device like the iPad or the Surface or whatever, it's it's not quite as easy to operate one of those things if you have some long-term study to do. So really great discussion, and I'm really thankful for that, and I hope you got something out of it. I just encourage you to continue to think about the mobile versus the learning management system question this week. All right, have a great day. See you.